Hello, welcome back to South of Normal Reviews with your host Mike Sawran, me. This episode is going to cover Adam McKays and Netflix's film Don't Look Up. Directed by Adam McKay, starring everyone. Oh my God, there's so many people in this film. It's just like, only one missing, surprisingly, was Sam Jackson, who's in everything. And Catherine Hahn, she's the female version of Sam Jackson, who's in everything. There was only two people missing. I mean, you had Leonardo DiCaprio, you had Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Jonnah Hill, Cate Blanchett, Tyler Perry, and a slew of other people. It was just like, everyone was home from COVID, so they knew they weren't doing anything. Let's throw them in a movie. The film follows two low-level astronomers, one going for her PhD, who discover an asteroid comet that's hurtling towards Earth, and they have about 6 months till, we all die. Standard action movie plot, but this was no action movie. This was a satirical look at the world today. I mean, God, so many people are in this movie that usually it equates to Bad News Bears. Yeah, usually that means like you're about to watch a toilet flush for an hour and a half and everyone's going to be stepping on each other's toes to get screen time. Didn't feel that way. Everyone knew their place. Everyone knew their place sounds horrible. Everyone was committed to making a great film, not getting their 10 minutes to shine. And so that was a welcome for a movie with so many stars. Like I said, this movie is directed by Adam McKay, and having seen like him at the beginning to where he is now was just interesting to me, because he came from Anchorman, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, which, by the way, if you haven't seen Step Brothers, get off your ass, pause this right now, go watch Step Brothers. What? A hilarious movie. I could watch that movie every day. It is just great. And it probably shouldn't be, but I love it. So, plug for Step Brothers during Don't Look Up. But that's where McKay came from, is the Will Ferrell, all his movies, all his hits. And you kind of wonder, there was an article recently about what happened between them. I didn't read it, I just saw they had a falling out. Seems to me McKay has done better critically, and whereas Ferrell will just pump out stuff and doesn't matter how good it's going to be.
Check him out.
He gets paid either way, it just feels, but he's missing McKay because it's never really been to that level of when McKay was at the helm of his movies. Just my opinion, but first for the performances in this movie. First, DiCaprio just like amazes me to this day. First time seeing him was in Titanic, and I hated him, not because he was great in the movie, because I was 11 years old. Titanic came out, and all of a sudden DiCaprio's on every magazine. Everyone's fawning all over him. So I was an 11-year-old boy. I was just like, this guy's a douche. Man. But he just amazes me, and it continues to confound me how good he is in everything, and like how it's him, but you're not watching Leonardo DiCaprio. So he was just perfect for this role of the meek astronomer who's just been kind of coasting through his life in Michigan, getting these PhD candidates to the doctorate level, getting them over the hump, and just continuing on with his mundane work. Then he gets a bit taste of the stardom and just kind of goes off the rails in this movie. But you kind of feel there were some moments where like maybe DiCaprio shouldn't be in this role because he doesn't have the comedic chops as a Will Ferrell would have. Like you kind of were like, where's that joke? I never had that moment where I was rolling on the floor laughing, but I chuckle here and there. So it was, again, it's probably because it felt like this could actually happen. And that was kind of disturbing. Jennifer Lawrence's character is the PhD candidate in this movie who discovers the comet, who the comet gets named after. To me, it felt like she was playing Katniss Everdeen goes for a PhD with a mullet. So she was just, it didn't feel different enough to warrant saying she was phenomenal. She deserves all the praise and awards she's going to get. It was just, you're just Katniss Everdeen in this movie with a mullet, and you're going to get a PhD, and you live in Indiana. Michigan, not Indiana. But anyway, then you had Streep. Streep was perfect in the role of the president who cares more about political victory and personal gain than the country she lives in. She's good in everything. She's been around for so long. Like, you know what you're going to get with her, and it's going to be good. And that's what she was in this. She was good. He had Jonnah Hill, was perfectly cast as the annoying son who kisses his mother's ass, Streep, to the point where you're just like, he kind of seems sexually attracted to his mom. He played it perfectly because it basically was typecast. Like, that's Jonnah Hill's shtick in a lot of movies, is this annoying little brother type who just says weird things and easily offends everyone around him and tries too hard to impress someone who doesn't give a shit about him. Just seems to be his type in a lot of films. Not saying nothing against Jonnah. He's Oscar nominated for Moneyball. He does a good job when called upon, but it just felt a little typecasty, in my opinion. Cate Blanchett was in this. I didn't even know it was her. I couldn't even recognize her, and didn't even dawn on me. I just kept thinking, there's something familiar, something familiar. And it was Cate Blanchett. She's great in everything I've seen her in. Totally gets lost in the role, to me. Plays it off perfectly. She plays, her and Tyler Perry play host to a morning talk show. I think it's more on one of the, like, a news channel talk show where it's all about ratings, not about story, and they're gonna just do crazy things to get those ratings. So she played that role perfectly. She's also revealed that she's got hella intelligent and has all these degrees and stuff, so she just seemed bored, and she played that to a T. That was great. Tyler Perry, always good to see him not in the Madea movies, I feel. Kind of let him stretch his legs, if you will, not be pigeonholed. Not that Medea's pigeonholing him. I mean, Christ, Medea's movies made him gobs upon gobs of money, and good for him. Like, you're true to yourself when you make those movies. You're telling your story, and they're great. They do great. You nail it every time. So kudos to you. I like seeing you in other things besides that. So I was welcome to see Tyler Perry in a different kind of role. Overall, the satire of this film had political undertones, of course. And the funny thing about it is it will have both sides kind of pointing and laughing at the other side, thinking it's them. That's what was kind of great about this, is it didn't just like hop off the fence and be like 100% blue, 100% red. It was played perfectly to the point where both sides are gonna think it's the other side, and it'll help keep their attention and make them laugh. And that was great, in my opinion. Very well done, as talking politics in any fashion is dangerous, especially if you're talking to someone who doesn't agree with you. You're in for a bad time. However, like I mentioned before, I chuckled at this movie here and there. I didn't guffaw and roll around on the floor laughing like I had in past Adam McKay films, such as Anchorman, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers for sure. Don't know why. Maybe because the movie felt like it had a 99% probability of being correct, and that's made it hard to laugh at that, because it's just like, shit, we're heading down this road. Oh no. Directed just as it needed to be. It was consistent throughout. No overall huge funny moment then followed by a huge dramatic moment where everyone, it wasn't peaks and drastic valleys. It was just nice up and down throughout, consistent movie. Something McKay's something he's great at. Said now, I can't say he's been really good at it. He's been great at it. He's got Oscars to prove it. It's what McKay does. He did it well. He did it again. He probably will get an Oscar nom for this in some fashion, whether it be writing, directing. Hopefully, casting director gets something. Whoever was the casting director in this movie needs a raise. He needs awards, something extra, because what he pulled off with the cast he had. It was just like, I didn't know anything about this before I turned it on. If I had seen a preview where they showed all these stars, I would have been like, oh great, here we go. It's gonna be a crap fest, and it wasn't. I don't know what the opposite of a crap fest is, but it was whatever the opposite of a crap fest is. Yeah, perfect ensemble cast, including Jonnah Hill. I mean, he added the humor where it needed to be added at times, and so without him, I wouldn't have had some of the chuckles I had. But good bit of filmmaking, good time overall. You won't be disappointed watching this. You'll get your shits and giggles in. Good bit of filmmaking all around. Kept my attention throughout. I was wondering what they're gonna do, what's happening when. Why are things breaking down when they're breaking down? What's happening now? What's going on? So it had me wondering. I didn't, like I said, roll on the floor laughing because it felt a little too real, but I'm a cynical bastard, so maybe that's the problem. However, this film could give some people nightmares because of the reality of the situation, knowing that if we are in this situation, maybe our chosen political leaders won't really have our best interests at heart, and lining their pockets and taking the corporate way out, to which may be our impending doom. On Netflix, go check this film out. You'll have a good time. It'll be worth the watch in some fashion. Not going to knock your socks off, not going to underwhelm you. It'll entertain you for what it needs to. It does what it needs to do, and that's all you can ask of a film. Next time on South of Normal Reviews is Being the Ricardos from Amazon Prime. Till next time, folks, click the subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. You guys have been awesome. I'm Mike. See you guys later.
This is how we do it!
Da, 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 da.
Hey, I never asked you.
Yeah.
Do you like guacamole? Oh! Oh, God! Run!